Here we are in this week's assignment module, which is due Sunday, September 8th. In this week's reading, you'll be going through Chapter 2, which is about Art Nouveau. And this is where graphic design really becomes interesting and exciting, because just at the end of the 19th century and before the 20th century, there was a lot of experimentation and daring which expanded the limits of all the arts, painting, sculpture, architecture, and so on. And there wasn't much of a tradition in graphic design at this point, and so designers were experimenting with form and color and content to create a new visual vocabulary. And Art Nouveau speaks to this, and there are a variety of different kinds of styles that we associate with Art Nouveau. As you can see here, Grasset is kind of a late Victorian designer. You've probably heard of Henri Toulouse-Lautrec, who does something very modern, and so on. So there's a great variety of Art Nouveau graphic design that I think you'll enjoy this week. This week's lecture, one of them is about the Beckerstaffs, who developed a new technique which we now call collage. And their style consisted of absolutely flat planes of color and incomplete images challenging the viewer to decipher the subject. It's a very modern style for its time. Also, have a look at the article on images of women in French posters of the 1890s. And women were the major subject matter for posters at this time, and they assumed a great variety of roles in French poster art. But it's also possible to isolate a few dominant feminine types which made their appearance with predictable frequency on posters in the latter part of the 19th century. Also, have a look at the lecture on color in design, and color communicates complex, powerful parts of graphic design. This week you'll be working on another bibliography and design in context assignment, and I think you understand what you need to do by this point. You select an example of graphic design from the time period covered in this week's reading, which is all about Art Nouveau. You compile a bibliography and you write a little creative brief about it with these considerations. And this assignment is worth 25 points. And of course, you'll turn it in just by clicking the link above. Oops, I went a little too far. Clicking this link here. And that takes you into the discussion board. Just click in the reply box and you can enter your assignment. And note that you have an opportunity to make extra credit depending on the work you put into your assignment. Also this week, you'll be continuing to work on your museum exhibition project, the conceptual phase. Again, this is due on September 15th. You're going to come up with some kind of idea for your project. So you'll be working on the exhibition topic and overview. It's the big idea for your exhibition. And you'll want to include some of these considerations here. And be sure to have a look at the examples of museum exhibition overviews that I provided for you, these links, to really help you understand what an exhibition overview is. This week's bibliography includes some links to topics covered in this week's reading, which you might be interested in learning more about. So again, you're going to continue working on your conceptual phase of your museum exhibition project. It's due September 15th, and you will complete your second bibliography and design in context assignment. So that's this week's assignment. If you have any questions, be sure to email me. Otherwise, enjoy Art Nouveau graphic design.